Everybody had a good Thanksgiving holiday. I know we're all sort of getting back to the swing of things after that nice little break. Um, I had a great time with my family. Got to stay home, didn't have to travel too far. Family came to us, which was nice. So it was a nice Thanksgiving break. I hope everyone had the same. So today we're going to talk about exercising through the holidays, and my name is Gwen. I'm an exercise specialist here at the Weight Management Center, and thanks for joining me today on your lunch break to talk about exercise. Before we get started with the agenda and what we'll talk about today, I wanted to offer an opportunity to give you just a little bit of movement. I realize many of you may be dialing in from your office and not have a lot of space, but I always try to encourage some activity, no matter how small, during my exercise visits. So I thought we could do that today as well. So if you're in a place where you can stand up, go ahead and stand up. I'm leading this class from a standing desk today so that I can stand up a little bit in the middle of my day. So go ahead and stand up from where you're sitting and step back from your desk or your table a little bit, and we'll just take a nice big reach up. And this is of course optional. If you're in a place where you don't really want to join, that's okay, but if you can, go ahead and do so. It feels great. And then reach back, and let's open your chest. So reach your arms back behind here and take that chest opening pose. Should feel really good, especially if you're typing a lot during the day. This stretch should feel really good. Relax your shoulders. You can take some shoulder rolls. It's nice to get some movement. All right. So next we can take a little bit of a neck release here. So if you want to sit back down, you can, better stay standing. Let's just drop your ear to one side and just open up the side of the neck there very gently. And then just roll your chin down to your chest, and you can roll your head to the other side. If you feel some places you might be tight, you can hold a little bit longer. And then slowly release, roll back down. Oh, it feels good. And we'll take one more reach up here. We're going to take a slight side bend. I'm going to step back so you can see. You're going to hold one wrist, and you're going to lengthen that arm and gently pull to the side. Just a slight lean, not anything major, just a little lean. Should help open up the side of the body right there. Opening between the rib cage. And then we'll reach the other way. These are some stretches we do in our chair yoga class here in Greensboro. I'm coming to you from the Greensboro Clinic today in the Greensboro Fitness Center. Real simple stretches just to loosen up and feel good. All right, so now we feel all rejuvenated and energized, right? Good. All right, so the agenda for today, we're going to talk about exercise. We've got a few things we're going to talk about. Exercise for stress management, exercise and how it can provide structure for you during this time of year where it can be difficult to stay on your routine is thrown off. And then ways to stay active through the holidays. So we already had our Thanksgiving holiday. Of course, we got Christmas and New Year's coming up. So ideas and ways to stay active there. And then there's a little segment at the end where we talk about if you do have a larger than usual meal or something that's not quite on your plan, some things that might help you and help your body with that meal. So, all right. Good start for stress management. So as fun as the holidays are, it can be stressful for many of us, right? Whether you're traveling a lot and sitting in the car can be stressful, planning trips. If you happen to be flying this time of year, that may be probably the most stress that anyone would experience over the holidays is getting through the airports. So there's a lot of things, but there's also, and those can be negative stressors, but then we got to remember there's also positive stressors too, right? So, getting together with family and friends is a joyous occasion, but it's also, positive stressors can happen there too. So lots of visits from family and friends, and maybe another stress that you're thinking of is, your schedule yes, it's nice we're able to buy gifts for folks, but when do we buy those gifts, and what's the budget look like? And so there's all this mixture of things going on that aren't normally in our day-to-day, week-to-week sort of routine. So, and of course, fill in the blank, right? There are some other stressors. Are there other stressors that you guys experience that would care to share that maybe are particularly related to the holidays? Anyone have any that I haven't covered? No, that's okay. And you may have some in your head that you're thinking of. I don't know, that you're just like, yep, I know this is one. Okay, Kristen's got one maybe for us. Moving to Italy in January. Yeah, that's a pretty busy time of year to move. I bet you are. Kristen says she's freaking out a bit because she's moving to Italy in January. Yeah, that's definitely a unique stressor right there, Kristen. I mean, not to mention getting through the holidays, I'm sure having your house on the market, or finding a place to live, packing your belongings. So there's a lot of components there, a lot of moving parts. So how to sort of cope with all that, right? Wow. Well, that sounds exciting too. It could be one of those positive stressors where you're excited about a change maybe, or maybe not so much. But yeah. Okay, well, maybe some, we'll see. Yeah, exactly. All those things. Okay, good. So even with all those things going on, all those moving parts, different things happening, people changing, interacting with all these different people, moving, other things you have going on, this is the time where you're testing all those healthier habits that you've been building in the program, right? So you've been practicing these things like your meal planning, your food journaling, all the things in addition to exercise that you've been practicing for however long you've been in the program. The holidays is the time when we're really putting those habits to the test, right? So it's really important to try to manage stress in a healthy way, right? And to try not to resort back to old habits of stress management, which may be comfort eating, or just saying, oh gosh, I'm just gonna sleep in instead of go to exercise. So this is a critical time to keep those healthy habits going and not forego them, and try to maintain them. So exercise in particular, since that's what we're talking about today, is really good for stress management. A lot of people find exercise is their go-to stress management tool now, since if they've been in the program a little while, they may have discovered, yeah, if I don't get my exercise and I'm having a particularly stressful week, it does, I'm going to feel even more stressful. So, or I'm going to feel even a continued heightened level of stress. For me personally, exercise is something that helps me manage my stress. If I get a nice jog in, it doesn't have to be too intense, but just a nice jog, even a 15-minute something, I always feel so much better afterwards if I'm feeling stressed. It lowers my stress level. So it reduces the physiological effects of stress, and it releases endorphins, and that's a feel-good hormone. So hopefully you've experienced some enjoyment with exercise, or found some things that are more physically active that you like to do. And so those are some things you could use as your go-tos for stress management. While your to-do list may be very long, like I'm sure in the case of many of us, we have Christmas shopping to do, and food to purchase for party planning, or maybe in the case of like Kristen, where she's getting ready to move, so she probably has a really long to-do list every day. But if we don't get that exercise in, that's where the stress is going to build up. So I really encourage you to keep that exercise as a part of your routine, no matter how long that to-do list, right? And we'll get to that on the next slide. But so back to those endorphins, but they decrease muscle tension, they reduce your cortisol production, and that's a stress hormone too. So there's some stress relieving exercises listed here. High energy activities, so kickboxing, I think right now, and I personally haven't tried it, but that 9-round there's a 9-round location here in Greensboro. A lot of folks seem to really like that, kickboxing. That's literally getting the stress out by, punching a punching bag. But there's other ways, of course, too, like gentle yoga. We have, like I said, our chair yoga class here Thursdays at 5 o'clock in Greensboro. That's a really nice way to unwind at the end of the week. Tai Chi, maybe Pilates. And there's a link there on your screen that if you wanted to, YouTube's a great resource for fitness videos. You can certainly copy and paste that YouTube link and try some Tai Chi. It's a short routine. Does anybody have stress or exercises that they find really help them in terms of stress management that they would care to share that we haven't maybe listed, or maybe you would second one of these items that I listed? Go ahead and share that now if you'd like. Maybe there's a new idea someone has in the room. No, pretty much covers it. Okay, great. All right. Oh, Robbie's got something. Okay, great. Maybe there's a little slight delay in it too. So I always appreciate your input because I feel like we can't cover everything in here. So, oh yeah, Tai Chi, water Tai Chi. Oh, that's new. I hadn't heard of that before. That would be really nice, like aqua Tai Chi. That's nice. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Robbie. Aqua Tai Chi. Strength training. Yeah, good. Yeah, the aqua Tai Chi, easy on the knees. And you can probably feel some resistance in the water when you're doing the moves with aqua Tai Chi too, which is really nice. That's good. And then strength training is a stress reliever too, so that's really good. And strength training is definitely a really good form of exercise, and we always encourage strength training at least 2 to 3 times a week for everybody in our program. So that's great that is a form of stress relief for you as well. Thanks for sharing, guys. Oh, we got one more sharing. Awesome. One more sharing here. Water aerobics. Yeah. Yeah, being in the water, something about being in the water is just relaxing in and of itself. I remember when I was pregnant and I did the mom water aerobics classes, it was always so relaxing just to be sort of buoyant and releasing. And yeah, it's a gentle place to exercise. That's great. And water aerobics classes are often a very social event too, where you get to talk with people and you have the same people coming, and so you have that social engagement as well. Lots of positives there. Very good. Thanks for sharing, everybody. Okay, so I've sort of already alluded to this, but exercise does provide structure if you use it in that way, right? So already hinted at how, or talked about how during the holidays we do have less structure. And so in what ways does less structure affect you, right? So you can think about this for yourself. If you're not on routine, you might feel more stressed, more anxious. I know, again, I'll relate to myself here, but I know I will try to keep my to-do list in my head, and it's just way too big to try to keep in my head, and so I've got to have it written out in my plan for the week of the things I'm going to work on, and that's my structure. It's in my written planner, and so that helps to process and keep everything on track. If you don't have that structure, you might feel frustrated. Your productivity might be down because you'll probably forget something. Or you'd be worried you're going to forget to do something, right? So it's easier to get off plan without structure. Absolutely. Thanks for sharing, Robbie. Yeah, so it is easier to get off plan without that structure, because then maybe you're not planning your meals, like you said, on Sundays that you normally do, which is part of your routine or your structure. So yeah, absolutely. Often less structure will affect your weight loss and your progress towards your goals. Structure is really important. I would say that's probably the most common issue. People come when they're just starting our program, and we see folks in new patient clinic. That's one thing they say they really are looking for in our program is structure. So yeah, absolutely important. So don't let it go just because the holidays, just because traveling. Try to maintain as much. Maybe it changes. Maybe it's flexible in the holidays. Maybe you're structured isn't, because you're not getting up to go to work the same on the day, Christmas Eve day or Christmas Day, but maybe it looks a little different and your plan changes, but you should still have a plan, right? So it's important. So one way, so you, like I've talked about the to-do lists that you have, you know, for the holidays, all sorts of things, holiday gatherings, family gatherings, shopping, decorating, and exercise oftentimes, I would say, probably gets pushed down on the list of priorities for a lot of people. And it's easy to see why, because there's a lot of things like Cyber Monday ads were coming on my phone all day yesterday, and I was just like, okay, I can't just, I got to get my exercise in. I do my exercise in the evening. So I was like, before I sit down and shop Cyber Monday, which my phone keeps telling me I need to do, thank you, Amazon app, I need to make sure I get my routine exercise in before I do that. So make sure your exercise goes to the top of your to-do list, right? So keep it there in your mind or on paper, wherever you keep your list or your schedule. Maybe it's a monthly planner where you're saying, okay, I'm going to exercise 3 days a week this month because that's more realistic than 5, but I'm still getting in some frequent exercise. So here are the days I know I can do it, right? So you can adjust your exercise. So, well, I just misspoke there and said you can decrease your frequency, but if you look under the adjust your exercise routine section, of course, we would prefer for you to keep your frequency, but it's got to be realistic for you. So if decreasing the amount of exercise, like if you don't have 30 minutes, but you know you can get 15 minutes in, some is better than none. So absolutely get 15 minutes in, and if you can do 15 minutes 5 days a week, perfect. Generally, we try to steer away from not changing your frequency because that is where you're really changing your structured routine for the week. So if you typically work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, for 30 to 45 minutes, alternating cardio and strength training on those days, then trying to keep that frequency where you're doing it every morning, 6 a.m., no matter what, right? 5 days a week. But maybe it's not 30 to 45 minutes. Maybe it's 15 to 20 minutes for this month or something, right? So just trying to keep as much of your normal structure as possible, but be flexible, right? It's important to be flexible and adjust your plan. So those mini workouts can be helpful. And there's a lot of those. I like to use fitnessblender.com. I think I can type that in here and you guys can see it. It might be on the next slide too. I may be getting ahead of myself. I recommend this website a lot because they have short 10-minute routines that you can just pop up on your phone, your laptop, tablet, whatever, and no equipment's required for most of them, and you can get a good cardio routine in. It's easy to follow. They're safe exercises. So I use them for quick workouts when I need it. And then plan ahead for travel. So if you have or if you're traveling, there are many ways to make sure you're going to get some exercise in when you're traveling, right? Airports, once you've checked in, great time to take some steps, walk some laps. I remember I was waiting for my luggage one time. I couldn't find it, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to take the opportunity to get some steps in and just hike up and down the baggage claim area a little bit since I've been sitting on the plane. And maybe that's what it looks like. Maybe for you, you have some exercise bands. Exercise bands are really portable. Does everybody know what I'm talking about when I say exercise bands? They're just the stretchy resistance bands. You can use them with handles. You can use them, sometimes they don't have handles, they're TheraBands. Those are awesome for travel. Yeah. Thank you, for confirming. So they are good for traveling. So if you have bands and you use them at home already, you can pack them in your suitcase and bring them with you. And then you don't have to worry about, well, I'm going to be trying to find a gym, or where am I going to get my strength training in? Well, you can just have your bands with you. I did have a patient once who shipped some of their weight training equipment, bands and some light hand weights, up to the place they were going because they knew they were going to be there for like a month, but they wanted to have that equipment available to them and they didn't want to carry it in their luggage. So they planned ahead by literally mailing their fitness equipment to the place they were going to go stay for a month. So planning ahead and prioritizing exercise, again, making sure you know where and how you're going to get your exercise in is a good thing. Okay, so then some ways to stay active. Over Thanksgiving, there my family has this tradition of going on a walk in the woods. I'd like to call it a hike, but I have a 6 and a 4-year-old, so it's not much of a hike right now, but that's okay. We go out into the woods and go for a walk before we have our Thanksgiving dinner as a family. So everybody gets outside, you know, sometimes we're chasing each other on the trail, whatever. So just having fun, being active together as a family. So you're going to be with family. It's important for everybody to be active over the holidays and in general. So why not make it a family affair, right? Suggest to your family ahead of time, maybe say, hey, I've done some research and there's a new trail or a new park. Why don't we go check that out while we're all together? We can get out of the house a little bit. We don't feel so cooped up that way. Some other ideas, you know, a family front yard football game or Christmas caroling is something I think not many people do that anymore, I don't think. But it's still a really nice idea, a way to walk around your neighborhood, see your neighbors, or maybe play on the Wii. I know one person who has the tradition of a dance-off competition with their sister every holiday, or so that's their activity together, is having this dance-off competition with the Wii, I think. So get creative and think of ways for everybody to be active together, but it doesn't have to be let's all go to the gym, right? It can be a way to reconnect with nature or connect with your family or friends or neighbors. Just something fun to get outside and get a little bit of nature and get a little bit of exercise. Does anyone have anything that they do with their family already that they'd like to share as an idea? Or does anybody second any of these ideas or anything they want to share? Great. Ping pong. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, great. A turkey trot for the first time. That's great, Kristen. Awesome. And Just Dance on the Wii. That's the game I was trying to think of. Yeah, Dance Off or Just Dance. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, turkey trots are great, and they're a great tradition, and they're oftentimes raising money for something, so that's fun. Just Dance on the Wii is awesome, too. I love dancing. We have frequent dance parties at my house with my 6 and 4-year-old. It's a fun way to get them moving. Yeah, that's great. And ping pong is a fun game too. And I think you can buy those tabletop ones where you just set it up on like your kitchen table and play. So that's really fun. I love it. Thanks. Great. Thanks for sharing, everybody. Those are great ideas. And those are fun ideas too. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. Okay, so then for you personally though, maybe this is a time to try something new. So if you've been doing some of the same things, then you may, if you're feeling burned out on your routine, then you have higher chances of not sticking with it, right? So if you're not enjoying it anymore, or you're not feeling challenged by it anymore, then the holiday season rolls around. It's easy just to deprioritize it and knock it off of your list because you don't enjoy it anyway. So, you know. So maybe it's the time to get something new incorporated in your routine. New format. Maybe you've been on weight machines for a while and you want to come off the machines and try free weights, which are a great way, is a great progression. Or maybe you're using bands and you want to treat yourself this Christmas to a couple sets of dumbbells to progress to some dumbbells. Which is a great progression as well. Or if you've always been wanting to try a kettlebell, there's a picture of a kettlebell on there. We've got kettlebells at the Weight Management Center. These little guys, we've got different sizes. Is the 10-pounder. But kettlebells are pretty readily available for purchase, Target and all that too. Target, probably Walmart has them too. Great way to mix up your routine, do something different. Still getting, kettlebells are great for some cardiovascular metabolic effect training as well as strength training. Bosu ball, if you haven't seen the Bosu, you can see in the picture there, the half ball with the plastic platform. We have all these at the fitness centers too, so we can certainly show you guys at your next exercise visit some things you can do with this equipment. The Bosu ball is a great core workout as strength training workout. And then the suspension trainer, we have TRX here, but there's different models, but suspension training is a really fun way to work out, in my opinion. I think it's more like playing on a playground, like an adult playground, because it's not your typical, like, okay, bicep curls. It's moving your whole body and getting core. Yeah, Robbie loves both the Bosu and the TRX. Awesome. Yeah, they're really great because you're incorporating more muscles and you're getting a little bit of a metabolic effect too if you're doing a higher number of reps, and the strength training component as well. So yeah, very good. And so again, like I said, if you want to try one of these three routines, or excuse me, one of these three methods that you haven't yet, then make sure to bring it up at your next exercise visit or with your trainer the next time you have a training session. As something that you want to try, right? And you can buy these things for your home too. The TRX is available for purchase outside of just commercial gyms too, and you can hook it on to your rafters in your garage, or they have wall anchor hooks you can buy, or door anchors as well. So there's creative ways to use these things at home, but I encourage you to try something new if you're starting to feel like your workouts are getting stale, because you definitely need to be motivated in order to continue to exercise, especially through the holidays. Okay, so excuse me, another way to stay active is to find a workout buddy. This is something that works really well for a lot of people. If you are someone who's like, yeah, you know, okay, maybe can't afford training sessions after I finish my sessions with my program. Well, surely there may be somebody that you've seen regularly at the gym that might be interested in being a workout buddy, or if you have a friend or a spouse or a significant other or older child. Anyway, so basically trying to find a workout buddy, test it out, see if it works for you, because a workout buddy can be really good for accountability. Someone that will not accept no. Like, so if you say, okay, workout buddy, we're gonna commit to working out 3 days a week at 6 a.m. That person has to be someone who won't take excuses, but you also have to do the same for them, right? So they may need you to when they call you and say, oh, I just woke up and it's 5:55. Yeah, or a coworker. Yeah, that's a good idea too, Robbie. So they've got to be someone who's not going to say, oh yeah, okay, well, maybe we just will skip it today. No. That person's you got to tell them, like, do not let me back out of this, even if I am 5 or 10 minutes late and I just got to roll out of bed, throw my workout clothes on, and, run up the street to your house to do our workout. Like, don't let me skip out on it. So it's great. Yeah, coworker may be someone who can hold you accountable to exercising over your lunch break. That's a really popular way to get some exercise in during your day, is to go for a walk over your lunch break. And so if you've got a coworker who's going to keep you accountable to that and say, okay, every day we're walking, unless it's pouring with rain outside. And if it's pouring with rain outside, well, we'll find some stairs, right? There's always some way to exercise. So find someone you can trust, someone who doesn't take excuses. Maybe use technology. I don't know if you guys have Fitbits or some sort of step tracker, but the app on there has nice little challenges. You can challenge someone to a competition, a step competition, that way, virtually. So if you're not in the same place, you can challenge each other virtually. Setting goals together, and then maybe adding some competition, using a reward system. You guys can work together, but I definitely recommend a workout buddy. It certainly helps. When I was doing my 5:15 a.m. workouts, it worked out best when I had a workout buddy, because I was liable to sleep in, but she and I kept each other accountable during those times. All right. So we've already talked about how it can be brief. It doesn't have to be a long workout. If you need to modify the time or the duration of your workout but still get it in, then that's the way to do it, and that's fine. Because that little first statement there, the holidays are about spending time with family. That's true. So that's why I like family activities, because then everybody's involved and you don't feel like you're pulling yourself away from the family, unless you need to take a break from family. But circuit training, interval training, there's a 7-minute workout. I don't know that I had it highlighted or added to the files here. Let's see. We've shared it before. Yeah, I don't see it on here. Let me see if I can upload it really quick for you guys. Of course, there's fitnessblender.com I already talked about. And then there's combination exercises. Has anybody used this? It's also known as the scientific 7-minute workout. Has anybody already used that workout before? me see if I can upload it for you guys. No, but interested, yeah, okay. Let's see, it should be in here. Well, okay. Sorry about this. Forgot to get this one uploaded. Oh, maybe that was it. No. Okay, so, oh, hold on. I got one more idea. Thanks for your patience while I find it, if I can. Beverly's cat is on her keyboard. Typical cat. Cats always tend to get right in front of whatever you're trying to work on or do. Okay, so I'm going to have to find that handout. For some reason, it won't let me get into my file here to upload. There is a place you can find it. It's not like a secret workout. It's easy to find. If you Google ACSM 7-minute workout, you'll find it. It's a PDF handout. Anybody can download through ACSM stands for American College of Sports Medicine. That's who certifies exercise physiologists like me. So they have that handout available for free on the web. Maybe I can pull up a link to it that way. Let me see real quick if I can pull that up and then do that for you guys. Bear with me. Okay. Yeah, it was simple Google search right there. Okay. And then here, I can copy this. Okay. Yes. Oh, thank you, Robbie. You beat me to it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, great. Yep, there we go. So just click on that link that Robbie so graciously shared. Thank you. And hopefully you can move your cat a little bit, Beverly, gently so you can get that link. But it's easy to Google. So those are quick little exercise, or excuse me, all the exercises on that workout, that 7-minute handout, you do each exercise for about a minute. Some of them can be pretty high intensity. So there's push-ups on there, there's step-ups on a chair, there's full jumping jacks. There aren't any modifications pictured on that handout, but you can modify them, and I encourage you to, whether you're modifying them by doing them slower and don't feel rushed and do them very carefully, or whether you're modifying them by, instead of stepping up on a chair, maybe you're stepping up on a low bench or the first step in your house. Or instead of doing full push-ups on your toes, you're doing push-ups on your knees instead. So definitely modify as you need to. And if you print this workout and you're not sure how to modify, again, that's something that the exercise team here, we can help you with. So bring the handout or just say, hey, that 7-minute workout, how do I modify this for me? If you have something specific that is keeping you from doing a certain exercise. But the idea is that you do each of those exercises and you do them in a circuit through, and then it should only take you about 7 minutes, and you're hitting all muscles, you're getting a little cardio burst. It's going to be a little moderate to hard intensity, and then you can do it through a couple more times or one more time if you want. So of course I encourage a warm-up as well with that. So instead, maybe a warm-up as simple as just doing a modified jumping jack where you're not jumping, but you're just stepping one foot out to the side and lifting your arms before you jump into that 7-minute workout. So give it a try. Print it off and check it out. And then combination exercises, these are something that are really good to do too. This is a picture here of a gal doing a squat to an overhead press. It's a classic combination exercise where you're working legs and then you're working shoulders as well as core too. So instead of just doing squats and then overhead press, you're literally combining exercises. Lunges with bicep curls is another idea. Combination exercises are really efficient, time-efficient ways to exercise. Okay. Moving on. So the last section here are the post-holiday meal tips. These tips are summarized from an article that was from Real Simple magazine, or realsimple.com, so it was their website. But there are some really good tips on here. So rather than reinvent the wheel, here they are. first of all, don't beat yourself up, right? Feeling guilty can lead to some binge eating behaviors. So if you make your plan and you maybe don't stick 100% to the plan, well, you know what? Journal it anyway, recognize it, say, okay, don't beat yourself up about it. Get back on track, right? Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get back on track with it. Don't linger in it and dwell on it too long, right? Go for a walk. We already talked about this, but in terms of just getting active over the holidays with your family. But going for a walk, you can even do this before you do your big meal or after you have, and I say big meal, maybe it's just larger than your typical meal, which is on your meal plan. Taking a walk after eating can help your body digest the food. It can help your body use the energy that you just put into it, right? So this little segment here talks about how there's one study where walking after a meal was more effective for weight loss than waiting 1 hour after eating before walking. So I think that some folks may recommend waiting an hour before you walk. Well, you're just going for a walk, so get out there and move. Start using that energy that you just fed yourself, right? And walking can suppress the glucose spike that you would have after a meal. So use exercise to help your body process that if you do decide to have a larger meal over the holidays. And then getting leftovers out of sight, right? So I know I used this time with my mom. I was like, here you go, take pretty much all of the leftovers, which she was grateful for. But anyway, so package them up and say, here you are, here's your package of leftovers, and just give it to them. That's kind of what I did. But encourage people to take the leftovers or portion them out. So Thanksgiving, I was thinking about this as we were cooking our Thanksgiving meal. I thought, well, gosh, this is like one big meal prep. This is probably the one time a year where most people are doing enough cooking to prep meals for like 2 weeks. So why not make it a meal prep opportunity, right? So portion size it, have your 3 ounces or whatever's appropriate for you, size protein, your vegetables and things like that, and put them in your containers so you can have those meals already prepped for the next week. Why not? You're already doing the work, right? Of course, if those choices are something you would have on your meal plan, maybe they're not, and therefore you'd want to just give them to your guests. But in other cases, they might be. Maybe you chose some healthier recipes this year for Thanksgiving that you want to carry over into your next week. So this next bullet point, note the damage. Don't let it define you. Don't linger on it. It's not, it was one meal, right? If you messed up one time, it's just one thing. Move on and improve your next meal. So think about. I had one patient today, they were like, yes, maybe, stayed mostly on plan, maybe a little bit overindulgent, but the very next day I got right back on to track because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be off, let that take a landslide where I just fall off for the rest of the week. So I just had a slight, deviation, and I got right back on the next day. So keep it lighter but satisfying on that next meal, right? Journaling your food. I know the dietitians will appreciate this one if everyone keeps journaling. Self-monitoring is really important. It can help you get back onto your regular eating routine. And then also journaling your exercise. I mean, we talk about food journaling a lot, but I also would encourage folks to journal their exercise because it'll help you look back on that month. I journal mine through my Fitbit app, but it'll help you look back and say, oh yeah, look at how much I actually did with exercise. I did get my goal where I was exercising four times a week for 20 minutes. I met that goal, and you can give yourself a pat on the back. The Fitbit app does that for you. It says, yay, congratulations, and has like balloons and confetti, which I love. So you can use your Fitbit app or write it down, but journaling your food, journaling your exercise, journaling your water, just journaling to journal, right? Lots of reasons to keep yourself accountable and use your journaling techniques. Calming your stress system. So you may feel stressed, like we talked about in the beginning of this class, from family, maybe from food, but try some yoga. We have a yoga class. I've talked about our chair yoga class here in Greensboro, but if a lot of you are in Winston-Salem, we do have a chair yoga, or excuse me, not chair, but a yoga class Tuesday nights in Winston-Salem as well, in the clinic with Susanna. And she is a fabulous yoga instructor, and any modifications you need, she can give to you to make it accessible. So if you're interested in trying some yoga, you can certainly find some YouTube videos online, or try an in-person class to help introduce you to it and get you started. But as a yoga instructor myself, big fan of yoga, and for folks to try it, it might be just the ticket for you. Increasing your workout intensity. So this may be something you might not do right after a meal. After you'd want to definitely digest some food after you do any sort of moderate to high intensity workout. A walk is good. Like a light walk is fine. A brisk walk is fine. But moderate to high intensity, you definitely would want to wait a little bit before you to digest that food before you go out and kick it into high gear. But maybe it's later that day that you go for a nice challenging workout. Okay, so I've already sort of highlighted our classes here, but I always like to put this up here at the end so people can see that we do have classes available to our patients, both in Winston and in Greensboro, and we have some open gym times still going on as well, and then personal training packages, so just sort of like a sidebar there. But I also wanted to highlight, and it's not on my slides, but the OnTrack program. I don't know if I can pull it up in the, if I double click on it, if it shows on your screen or not. But it's over in the files. So if you go over to the files section, you'll see OnTrack program flyer. If you haven't heard about OnTrack, I wanted to highlight it because it's still fairly new to us. So check out that flyer and read up on it. Basically what OnTrack is, it's an app called Health Track that you can download. Charge for OnTrack? Yes, okay. So there is a charge for the scale. The scale, let me open the flyer and see if it's on there. It may not be, that's why you're asking. I do not believe there is a charge for the OnTrack app, the Health Track app. Oh yeah, it doesn't say on there. Good question. Okay, so I don't believe there's a charge for using the app Health Track. But what you would do is you would download the Health Track app, and then you could have, excuse me, I'll type it in here. Yeah. There you go. That'd be easier. Yeah. So if you download the Health Track app, then you can log in that way. And Health Track basically is now our app. It's our weight management center app. So you can track your fitness on there. You can track your food on there in place of MyFitnessPal. It basically replaces MyFitnessPal and is specific to our clinic. And one of the biggest perks is our clinicians can see your progress. And it's nice because it's got a red, yellow, and green like sort of stoplight system for each day, so you can glance back at your month of tracking and see when you're tracking fitness, nutrition, water, and see how many green days do I have? Did I have a yellow day? Did I have like a lot of red days? So it's kind of cool. It's a different way of tracking. So I would just definitely encourage you to check it out. Maybe for now you can download it, and then at your next visit you can ask any of our providers about it. You can pull it up on your phone and we can sort of peruse it with you and show you a little bit about it. The other perk to the Health Track app is we have a wireless scale that goes along with the app. Now you can buy, if you already have an ARIA scale through Fitbit, you can connect your ARIA scale or your Withings scale or other models of wireless scales to the Health Track app. Or you can buy a wireless scale in our nutrition shop as well. So we have a wireless scale for sale in the nutrition shop. And I don't know the exact price, but I want to say it's around $85, I think. So, but you can stop by the shop and find out about that scale, check it out, look at it. And that scale can connect to, will connect through wireless, through Wi-Fi, connect to the Health Track app. So anytime you step on that scale, your weight goes on Health Track. And then your clinician can pull up your weight and see, oh yeah, okay, let's look at this, we can see what we're doing here. So this is a great option for anyone who is going to be missing some clinic visits because they're traveling and you're doing virtual visits and you're checking in virtually with your providers, or if you're doing telephone visits or whatever it is, or if you're moving to Italy. I don't know. Maybe this would be a way that we can support you. I'm not sure about the international reception on that, but could work, right? But so this is a way for us to broaden our reach and to support you guys more if you aren't able to physically come in and weigh in the clinic. We've got the virtual visits, so you can do a video visit with your provider, weigh on your OnTrack scale, and track on HealthTrack, and we can see all that data right there in front of us. So check it out. Ask your next provider, at your next visit, ask your provider about it, and they can tell you a little more and answer any questions and see if it's right for you. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about exercising through the holidays and why? Any remaining thoughts on why to do it, or anything that I can help you with, or any last minute thoughts? Okay, Beverly's got a question maybe, or a comment. We'll see. No, but classes help. Oh, good. Good. Yeah, so this is another way to be virtual, right? Is if you can't make it to our in-person group, you can at least come and log in virtually to this group right here and get some information and sort of hear some things that are reiterated. That's good. I'm glad it's helpful, Beverly. Thank you. With that, if there's no more questions, then just remember, we might have one more. Dana's typing. But I'll say, remember that when I end the class, we're going to have a little survey. So if you can fill out that survey, set up an account under HealthTrack. Yeah, you do have to create a login, username, and password. Yep. On the HealthTrack app. All right, so at the close of this session then, just if you would be so kind as to fill out the survey, give me some feedback, give us some feedback in general or specifically. Patty, did you have a question or comment? I'll let you finish. Oh, okay. All right, well, I wish you all a very happy holiday season, and stay active and set your plan for exercise for the holidays, and your plan for meals and all those things. Get your plan set and stick to it as best you can. And we're here to support you guys, and let us know if you need anything. You are welcome. Thank you guys. Thank you.